Measure around the neck just above the Adam's apple. Measure across the back at the base of the neck from shoulder tip to shoulder tip. Measure across the back from the armpit crease to the armpit crease. Measure across the smallest part of the waist from one side to the other. Measure round the smallest part of the waist. Measure from the shoulder tip down to the armpit crease in the back. Measure from the center of one shoulder blade down to the smallest part of the waist at the spine. Measure from the center of one shoulder blade straight down to hip level. Measure from the center of the shoulder blade to the crotch level. It may help to have a ruler between the legs. With the arms down and relaxed, measure from the outer shoulder blade to the armpit crease in the front. Measure from the shoulder to the chest level on the side. Measure from the same point straight down to the level of the chest. Measure from the same point straight down to waist level. From that same point, measure down to the level of the crotch. Use a stick or a ruler if needed. Measure all the way around the body from the shoulder down through the crotch up to the same point on the shoulder. With both arms relaxed at the side, measure from armpit crease to armpit crease across the front. With arms down and relaxed, measure around the largest part of the chest. Measure around the stomach just below the navel. Measure around the largest part of the hips or buttocks. For the legs, measure both sides individually. Most everyone is slightly different. If the difference is 1 inch or more, you may want to remeasure both sides to confirm, starting with the right. Measure around the largest part of the thigh, just below crotch level. Measure around the largest part just above the knee bone. Measure around the smallest part just below the knee bone. The distance between above knee and below knee is about 3.5 inches. Measure around the largest part of the calf muscle. Measure just above the ankle bone. Now measure the left side. Measure around the largest part of the thigh just below the crotch level. Measure around the largest part just above the knee bone. Measure around the smallest part just below the knee bone. Measure around the largest part of the calf muscle. Measure just above the ankle bone. It may help to hold the ruler between the legs at the crotch level for these measurements. Measure from the top of the ruler to just below the kneecap. With the tape in the same location, measure down to the ankle bone. With the tape at the same location, measure down to the floor. Measure from the ankle bone up to the largest part of the calf. Measure from the ankle bone up to the center of the kneecap. Accurate height and weight measurements help the pattern maker assess the previous measurements taken. If possible, a photo would be very helpful as well. For women only, measure the distance between the nipples. On one side, measure from under the arm to the nipple on the same side.